Good morning. Well, as you can see, we are quite dry today, which is good. This is the South Beach, South Shore area of Blackpool, where I first came to when I moved to Blackpool in 1979. Now, this at the time was Woolworths. Later on, it became a Christmas, all year round Christmas shop. Now it's a pigeon coop. Yeah, I know who owns it. A local businessman, Howard Plan. He bought this about 6 years ago and has failed in every attempt to get any kind of planning permission to do this with this area. That's because the council made this a heritage building. The sad thing is, this is South Shore. This used to be a very, very good shopping area. All of South Shore now is derelict, most of it. The reason for that is because when they built the Yeadon Way, which came straight off the motorway and funneled all the traffic straight into the town centre. That being the case, all the shops and the businesses down Lytham Road, the hotels and all that used to facilitate all the coaches, which used to stop at the Coliseum on Lytham Road, then became bypassed by all that traffic. So now, to come to South Shore, you have to make roadway here. You go back two streets from the front and it's derelict. Going back to the funding that was promised by Scott Benton, the previous MP who was disgraced and thankfully eventually resigned, he continued to go on about 35 million funding. I've got in my hand here the Hansard report, which was dated the 26th of February 2008. In this report is that 35 million, which was allocated 17 years ago, and as far as I can see, not a penny has been spent in South Shore. If anybody wants to see this report, please ask me for a copy and I'll give it to you. So here we are at what used to be the post office on Waterloo Road. This is where I used to pick up my family allowance when I lived down here before, and this is now listed as a heritage building. So anybody who was to take on this property would have to satisfy quite a lot of issues that the council would put in their way. So after 20 years, I think it's unlikely that this will be repurposed. So here we are outside the iconic Blackpool South police station, which was closed around 2020, and the opening of a huge police headquarters just outside of Blackpool by the M55, which is hardly a community police station, as you would have to get a car to get there. The crime in this area has gone up considerably since this police station was shut down, and if anybody's ever tried to get hold of the police on the phone, good luck with that. So here we are on Bond Street, one of the most deprived areas of Blackpool, and this building behind me, actually, in 1979, 1980, was the Mecca Bingo of Blackpool, and I worked here. This was one of my first jobs in Blackpool, and it wasn't one of these automatic machines. It was the balls you pulled out of the thing, and it was very random. And I remember it to this day, and I loved it in here. Unfortunately, this closed. Ooh, can't remember now, but not shortly afterwards, it closed and moved into Blackpool. Well, they say location, location, location. Well, here's the location of Blackpool nobody wants. This building collapsed about 2 years ago. It fell into the road, and it's been like this ever since. It is for sale, so if you've got a few bob and you want to buy a derelict site in Blackpool, come and make your offer. So here we are outside the recent victim of South Shore massacre. This is the Royal Oak Public House, which is another heritage building. Closed its doors for the last time last week, and it will now no doubt be up for sale and probably derelict for the next 20 years like everything else around here. All I can say is, when you put a heritage label on something, it is of no use to any private buyer, as they would have to satisfy the council planning in order to do anything with it.